The food business and transport business are two businesses that involves a very huge cash flow in this type of the world. But if you must run those businesses here in this part of the world, you need to develop the hard skin, the tenacity to handle such. Today on the Business Leader of the Week, I am with Adiola Akimola, the CEO of Corporate Ewa. She's here with us to tell us how the journey with Corporate Ewa has been and what the growth has been like so far. Someone you're going to learn from, I'll call a serial entrepreneur, quite young and of course interesting. She's an exciting person and you're going to see her just after I'm back from this short break. You have to stay with me, and of course you're still watching DABA TV, and my name is Emeka Eze and this is the Business Leader of the Week. Stay with me and we'll be back after the short break.
You see, making money online begins with a desire, and if you have that desire, we can help you with the rest. Download the DABA mobile application and take free courses on how to generate money online. It's easy and free. Visit the Google Play Store today. Download and learn.
Welcome back from that short break. This is still DABA TV and you're watching the Business Leader of the Week. My name is Emeka Eze. Do not forget to like, to share, and then subscribe and tell your friends about the good things we're doing here at DABA TV. Before I went on that short break, I talked about Adiola Akimola, CEO of Corporate Ewa. Ewa, if you don't know, is beans in English language. And you're asking, what's the correlation? Corporate beans, Corporate Ewa. We're going to meet the CEO right now, and she is none other than Adiola Akimola. It's nice to have you on the program, Adiola.
Thank you very much.
You look beautiful, I must say.
Thank you.
Oh, your hair, shoe is lit. It's really nice. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so I don't want to say too much about Adiola, and I would like that she starts by telling us who she is. Who is Adiola?
Okay, so I am Adiola Akimola. I am 23, the creative director of Corporate Ewa. The business has been in operation for almost 3 years now, and I think that's that for now.
Oh, okay, fine. A business has been in operation for almost 3 years.
Yes.
I'm all the while I've been saying I'm introducing the CEO of Corporate Ewa, and then the CEO herself says she's the creative director.
Yes.
So you have to help us now. So could you help us differentiate the difference between the CEO and the creative director?
Okay, so the CEO as shareholders, they have, it's beyond just what we are doing yet. It's beyond this, and so I address myself as a creative director because I am the brain behind it. I design it and do all of that, and so we have not gotten to the CEO level yet officially. Are
you trying to be humble? No, I'd like to know. It's obviously your brand has not gone PLC. I mean, you're not selling.
Yes.
Are you? I mean, I'll be interested in sharing stuff. But then you're trying to be humble, telling us that you have not gotten to the CEO level. It's fine if you choose humility. It's great. It's one of the qualities of great leaders and business persons. So tell us, generally for business, how long have you been in business?
Okay, I've been in business for 3 years now. It's almost 3 years.
Okay, so apparently you started business when you started Corporate Ewa.
Yes, yes.
Oh wow, interesting. So how did you get to start Corporate Ewa? You want to tell us the story of Corporate Ewa?
Okay, yes. So Corporate Ewa started almost 3 years ago in my hostel. Yeah, I was just thinking through what I could do to to survive and get better for myself. I was a broke student, like a very, very proper broke student then, and so I was just thinking through what I could do to better my life and get better. And so I was scrolling through my Twitter. A friend, Jeff by name, made a tweet that, where can I get Ewa going in Benin? And that sent an idea straight into my head, and then I wondered, okay, corporate workers and people living in Lekki, people, all these high income earners, do they even have access to Ewa Goi, the regular street food that we eat? And so when I tried to search, I saw that the people that used to sell these things in the past, one thing I noticed was after 6 months they just go off, they go out of trend, and they are not in business again. And so I said, there is a space for me to fill.
Oh, you saw an opportunity and you explored it.
Yes.
While you were explaining, you asked a question. It's a rhetorical question, but I want to answer.
Okay.
The people who are working, these corporate workers and all that, do they have... No, we don't. we don't really have access to local food like that.
Yes, yes.
And so you spotted a great problem, and you tended to create a solution to that problem, which is nice. Permit me to ask officially. You mentioned that you were in your hostel.
Yes.
When that idea came to you.
Yes, yes.
What hostel are we talking about? Secondary school, university?
University, Lasso, Lagos State University.
Oh, you're a graduate?
No, I dropped out.
You dropped out?
Yes.
At what level did you drop out of school?
I dropped out. I got admission very late. Like the admission wasn't a direct admission actually.
Okay.
It was a means to an end.
Okay.
Like I wasn't so interested in the school. I wanted to move away from the things at home, and so the school was just the perfect opportunity.
Okay, great. So at what age did you start business?
I started this business at 20. I wasn't 20 fully actually.
Oh, this is your first business?
Yes, yes.
Your first exposure to business?
Yes.
Okay, so corporate era is almost 3 years. So we are right to say you're 23?
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay, so you're 23. You've been in business for 3 years.
Yes.
And then you started business at 20.
Yes.
Still, you're not a university graduate.
Yes.
That's a lot of mixture.
Okay.
So how are you able to forfeit school? Was there comfort after leaving school for business?
Okay, so like I said earlier, school wasn't a major for me. It was just a means to an end.
Okay.
And I knew that was just the perfect opportunity for me to leave home. No African parent would allow their child, a female child for that matter, to just leave home and say, yes,
School
I want to start. So I opted for a course that would let me get the admission, that would be able to get the admission easily, which was mathematics. And anyone who has been in Lasso before knows how demanding mathematics can be. So I knew the business was already growing, and I needed to, I was like the one playing all the role, being the content creator, the cook, the dispatch, I was being the all, and so there was a clash between the school and the business, so I had to forfeit one temporarily pending while
the business was
the
running.
business. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned that apparently you were a one-man business.
Yeah.
You did the dispatch, the cooking, the bookkeeping, everything on your own.
Yeah.
All right. So this was so much for one girl at 20 to do.
Yeah.
Why did you summon up the courage to do all that?
Okay. So this is it. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I want to be, and so that has always been my drive. I know where I'm coming from. I know I don't want to remain there, and so the only way not to remain there is to chase after things, even when they don't come easily for me.
So apparently, what you're trying to say now is that you knew it was not going to be an easy journey.
Of course.
From your plans, did you see that corporate era was going to be this big?
No, I did see it this big, but I always saw it as a means of survival. Like I knew I was going to survive from it, whichever way, and so that was just it.
Oh, beautiful. We're going to talk about the word this big. This big meaning, how big is corporate era today? I'm sure if you're listening or you're watching right now, you are actually aware or have heard of corporate era before now. That's a good thing. So we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back from that short break, we're going to ask Adeola the challenges she had gone through, the phases of this business, and how she was able to deal with them. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. I am having fun here in the studio with Adeola Akimola, and then we've been talking corporate era, her story from the beginning, and how she's been able to kickstart this beautiful business. Okay, before I went to the short break, I talking about her challenges in the business, and we're going to start by asking that in this business of making food for people to eat, do you have challenges when you started? What are the challenges?
Okay, so for every business, there are numerous challenges. And for mine, the first one was getting that original ewa going taste. I am not a Togolese person. I never lived with one, and ewa going was not something I ate growing up.
Okay.
And so that was the first challenge. YouTube was not able to help because a lot of people think they can just learn everything from just
internet,
YouTube, just internet. And so that wasn't the case as for the business. And then the second challenge was logistics. It was really a whole lot. Like it was a very serious challenge.
Okay, so two challenges now.
Yeah.
You had the challenge of making the real ewa going taste, the way we know it to taste.
Yes.
And you also had an issue with logistics.
Yes.
How were you able to tackle these challenges?
Okay, for the first one, the week I started off from just learning randomly on from people and then from YouTube, and I still didn't get that originality I was chasing after. And so I approached random sellers along the street. I patronized them first, made them comfortable. Then I asked them, oh, can you teach me how to do this? Blah, 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 blah. Some of them rejected, but the one that accepted said, okay, I'll pay a certain amount of money. And then I agreed. And the next day I went to her house. She put me through all of the process. And then I started off. After some months, I saw that I already lost that taste. That touch. So I had to address that issue again, approached new sellers, and then, okay, how do you do it? How do you do this? I got lots of rejections, like from, these people cherish their knowledge so much. Yeah. And so the one that eventually agreed taught me, and then I've been learning.
You've been learning. Did you pay to learn that from the one that taught you eventually?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Now, talking about learning, you heard from the CEO herself, the creative director herself of Corporate Ewa. She had to pay to learn the ropes in the business that is making her a living today. And talking about learning, there is one beautiful place you should actually go to learn skills that will equip you for the future. I'm talking about no other place than www.adaba.school. This is where we teach interesting life skills based on the internet that will make you money, many times from the comfort of your home. I'm talking trade and make money course, that's trading cryptocurrency and making money. We have affiliate marketing, graphics design, UI UX design, cake baking, drone piloting, video editing, and a host of other courses we have there that will teach you skills you should learn and make you money. And of course, like Adiola said, these persons cherish their knowledge. You can lose everything you have in life, but when you have knowledge, you cannot lose it. Some people, everybody dies with what they know, right? So start now to learn something and have it, because no one can take that away from you. So still on the topic of doing business with Ewa Agoin, Adiola, I was going to also ask how we are able to tackle the challenge with doing logistics for your business.
Okay, so as regard the logistics, when we started off, I started by doing the deliveries myself. As at then, Ope bike was still fully functional in Lagos. The likes of Ope, Gokada, they still, they still move on the road. So I take them, put them in the sack, then I start dispatching one after the other. After a while, that wasn't working anymore. I had to partner with other smaller logistic operators. They weren't functional, so they were not satisfying and delivering as expected. Later on, I got my own bike. And after getting my bike, I discovered that the issue was not with bikes, rather the issue were with the riders, the dispatch riders themselves. And so to fully address that problem, I had to move from Iyanoba, which was where we were operating before, to a more central location whereby we now get access to pool of operators, and so you can use Uber, you just have access to a lot of logistic means.
So that's like a lot of thoughts into what works for your business. First, you did a lot of A/B testing. Let me try this, let me try that. And when it was not perfectly working, you realized that being central could help your business.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So I think this is teaching me a lesson in business, that each time we keep trying, and in the process we keep learning new things in the business. In fact, I was carried away when you were talking about that. So let's come back home a little bit. When you talked about yourself, you didn't tell us about your home. There's a reason why I'm asking this. So tell us about where Adiola is from. In a family of how many?
Okay, so we have 4 girls.
Aside your parents, 4 girls.
Yes.
And
4 girls.
You're number what?
I'm number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
You started Corporate Ewa at 20.
Yes.
It means you left home at about 19.
Yes, I left home
19.
19. Yeah.
How was a 19-year-old so confident she could cook me food, and I'll pay for it and I'll be satisfied?
Okay, so the thing is, I didn't just start working and serving people like that.
Okay.
I've been working, doing other manual jobs. I've worked in a bakery before. I have worked as a security operative, and so I have always I believe there's a drive for me, and so that drive just like it just covers my
Covered
face,
the
and
face,
I don't
yeah.
see obstacles. I don't, even if you tell me it's not going to be it's not going to be successful, I still want to try. Let me see it by myself. Do you understand?
Yeah, I
so
do.
so that's
Your
it.
response has actually elicited another question from this end. You worked as a bakery at the bakery
Yes,
once. You also
yes.
worked as a security personnel.
Yes.
You worked as a security personnel?
Yes.
No, it's interesting because I want to know what gave you the confidence. I mean, don't you fear dogs?
Well, you know, sometimes the things you face in life might, you know,
Be your motivating
I'm
factor.
telling you, in fact, dogs are not in
I
there.
mean, anything will make you carry mine. Say, I dey go do security work. I can imagine what the motivation
You-
will be.
you-
But
you
that's
know
great.
it. Yeah,
Honestly,
thank
that's
you.
great motivation. I'm trying to compliment you on that.
Thank
It's
you.
nice. I didn't know this story before, man. CEO Corporate Ewa was once a security personnel. Official stamp it. Now that's nice. That's interesting.
you.
Okay, fine. Now I asked 3 years ago when you started the business
Okay.
if you knew how to cook and what gave you the confidence. What about 3 years after? Are you able to say now that I cook well? I mean, the confidence has grown.
We can get into a competition and see.
Oh wow! Oh, she doesn't know. Okay, so the host of the Business Leader of the Week, Emeka Ize, is also a great cook, and the corporate Ewa is giving me a challenge. She says, "Let's get to the kitchen together." The sorry part is that you don't get to taste the food, but we get to do the competition. All right, you're on, and I'm in. Now we've talked about corporate Ewa from the past. I mean, your story, which is
Yeah.
really interesting. You want to tell us about your growth now? How is corporate Ewa doing today?
Okay, so for corporate Ewa, it has moved beyond just surviving to thriving.
Wow, interesting.
So, like, it started off from just the kitchen of my hostel. From there, I moved to my own personal apartment. From there, I moved from Yanoba, rented a commercial kitchen at Ikeja. From Ikeja, we moved down to Surulere, and now we operate from our official kitchen with the office and about 8 staff, you know, with revenue in millions monthly. So you can
Wow.
already imagine.
Revenue in millions monthly. In 3 years, there's been a shift to 3 different locations, and there is an official office address. And I mean, corporate Ewa is actually doing the business that got our attention to bring her on as the business leader of the week. Interesting. That's growth, if you ask me. Interesting growth for just the space of 3 years.
Yeah, it
All right.
is.
Nice. So, in all these things you've gone through, what business lessons have you learned in these 3 years?
Okay, so the first lesson I would say is take risk. Like, you'd never really know what you are missing if you don't make attempts. If I never took the risk of using my school fee to start this business, I would probably just be in LASU, struggling with ASUS trial, doing all of that, and you know, this might not be happening. This interview might not have been happening.
True.
So you should take risk. And the second part is, when you get to a level, always know there's a bigger level ahead. And so you should not get comfortable. When you get comfortable, you think you have arrived. No, you have not.
True.
So you have to keep chasing for other. You get to a level, there's another level. You should always.
Yes, another level after that. Wow, that's look. You know, I might be just walking in public or see her in a mall, or maybe we're at a supermarket together. Who's the smallest person beside me? You don't know. You don't know who you're walking by. You don't know who's standing beside you. But of course, there are powerful lessons coming from the creative director at Corporate Ewa. She's talking this not based on what she's read, but based on what her hands has felt in the mud and her face has seen in the market and in the business of doing business. So well done, Adiola, on what
Thank
you're
you
doing
very
with
much.
Corporate Ewa.
Thank
Now,
you.
this is a very important question. If you were going to change anything
Yeah.
in these 3 years of business that would better your story, what do you think it would be?
Okay, so I've always said it that I do not really have regrets, because me saying I want to change something means I regretted
That's
an
doing
action.
there.
So I don't really have that. But the part that I would want to highlight for that question is getting a logistics bag. I thought that was going to solve the problem, but it created more problem. But the good part is it's just opened my eye to clarity. Like I got to see the in-depth of it, and it's led to the next stage that the business got to.
Yeah, that reminds me of a statement another entrepreneur made one time. I was having a conversation with him. He said, we don't make mistakes, we learn.
Yes.
So if you didn't get that bike, you wouldn't learn the other side of the business. And that's the truth. Wow, interesting conversation I've had with you. And in the period of this conversation, I'm just flashing my mind back to some of the packages I've seen for corporate Ewa. Today, tell us, do you sell just Ewa alone or beans?
Oh no.
Okay.
The business has gone beyond Ewa going. The idea just started from Ewa going, but now we do a whole lot of things. We do moi, we do akara, we do ekuru. We recently introduced our burger. We are working on sandwich. There's just a whole lot to it.
Packages.
So corporate Ewa is just the body holding all of that together.
Did you see that someday I'll be introducing burgers, making ekuru, making moi? I mean, moving from Yanoba to Ikeja to Surulere. Did you see all that from this?
No, I didn't.
You didn't, but you started.
Yes, I did.
That's a lesson for you out there. So if you're watching this now and you have an idea that it's like a pet project, you have an embryo project coming up, you're not sure how to go about it, corporate Ewa and every entrepreneur who succeeded in doing it today is telling you to start today. And along the line, you will get clarity on your business. But what is most important is that you start. So how do we locate and do business and eat corporate Ewa?
Okay. So it's an online food ordering platform. So we do not have a walk-in where you sit to eat. No, we do not have that. But you can find us across every social platform at corporate Ewa, CORPORATE with Ewa, EWA, at corporate Ewa across all platforms. If you want to make order, reach us on WhatsApp. The phone number is 081 1065 5096. The email is corporateewagoing@gmail.com. So
that's beautiful. I'm salivating. You make me want to get a taste of corporate Ewa. I believe DABA Studios should get a full delivery package of corporate Ewa.
Of course, when you're up to it.
Why not? We should actually get a full package of corporate Ewa. It's been an interesting ride with Adeola Akimola. We've talked about who she is. We've talked about her journey from the beginning. We've talked about the difference between being a creative director and a CEO. And then she humbly said she's headed towards being a CEO. We hope she gets there and I come to buy shares too, according to her definition. I think she's a young woman who's been doing well with her business and told us how her tenacity has driven her into managing a business as demanding as selling food in the city of Lagos. This has been an interesting ride with her. But of course, the next part. She also is aware of the next part, but she doesn't know what question is about to hit her. But before we reveal that to her, we're going to go for a short break. And when I come back from this break, we'll take the bonus session where we leave business and talk some fun and personal stuff. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Parents, listen to your children. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Does that sound familiar? Children these days are always on a device, either their phones, a laptop, a tablet, or the computer. Shouldn't that tell you that something is happening? Let me ask you a question. As a parent, would you rather your child become a competitor or a creator? Think about it. I know that as parents, we've been saddled with the responsibility on making sure that our children are equipped for the future. Well, here is an opportunity for you to position them for such a future, not just academically, but also on their skill set. If you're a parent, DABA Kids was created for you. DABA Kids is an online education platform that uses animation, game-style learning, and the internet to teach children within the age of 4 to 16 how to use and leverage the skills of the future. We focus on areas such as art, finance, technology, and leadership. Would you like to see your child become the next Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, creating things like Tesla, Facebook, or their own companies? Well, now is the time to take such opportunity. Join us in a live Zoom call for parents only in the month of March, as we'll be showing you how you can position these children for the future. Remember that the future starts now. Click on the link below to register, or you can visit our website at www.dabakids.com or follow us on our social media channels at DABA Kids. keep being an awesome and a super parent.
Welcome back. I'm excited. Are you excited? This is the part where I know many persons really want to watch. That lady that has been speaking grammar in English, she do business, she bought bike. Okay, let's see this part of her and how she's going to handle. Just 5 quick questions that makes up the bonus questions. It's going to be a game. This is DABA TV. You're watching the business leader of the week, and I am Emeka Eze, and I have my friend here, Adiola Akimola. So Adiola, we're off to taking 5 quick questions. Some of them might need like you explain a little bit, others might be just straight answers. So let's start with number 1. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Weirdest. Let me think.
Weirdest.
Should I say beans with a back? I don't think that's
Okay, I believe she was trying to experiment. Can I make beans with a back, sell it to people? Let me taste what it tastes like. Don't try it. It's Begiri is made of beans now.
Of course.
I love eating begiri. Oh, you don't know. One of my favorites is amala, iwedu, and begiri. Trust me, they call it abula, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. For someone who's been in the Southwest for a long time, I love it. So the weirdest thing that she thinks she's eating is ewa and eba. Look, if you're watching this from outside Nigeria, I'm going to explain. Now, eba is how do I make it? You know gari, right? Cassava. Yeah, cassava flakes cake. Let me call it that, right? Cassava flakes cake. You know cassava flakes, right? It's gari. Then use gari to make a cake. And it's very simple. Boil hot water, pour the flakes inside. You form eba, right? Straight. Then she make ewa. Ewa is beans. How was the ewa? Thick, watery?
Just make sure it's soft and not.
She's even telling us how to eat it. Did you use any protein, any obstacle?
Yeah.
What protein did you eat it with? She was ready. So it wasn't a mistake. She planned it. I mean, you had fish and you ate eba and ewa. Okay, fine. Okay, now, so we move to the next question, Adiola, after we're done with that. So you want to describe yourself in 5 words. 5 words. Don't say good things alone, because so describe yourself in 5 words. We know if you're lying.
You said 5 words, right?
5 words, just
okay.
5. 1 to 5.
Okay.
You said a lot about yourself in the interview, so
okay.
we will know.
Okay. I have no limits.
I have no limit. 4 words. It's just 1.
Okay.
5 words.
You said 5 words.
Yes,
okay.
like you can say like rude,
okay,
hardworking.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
5 words.
So I am brilliant.
Brilliant.
Industrious. I am a go-getter.
I agree.
Very, very assertive.
I agree.
And then grace. I'm carrying grace.
You carrying grace. Alright, that one is deep. Even though she didn't tell us any negative side. You know, that's the thing with human beings. Okay, fine. You're a go-getter. You're carrying grace. You are assertive. And you're brilliant. I mean, I appreciate those. And I mean, I can't say anything. I can't agree less. You are all that based on what we know about corporate era. So tell me a nickname your parents used to call you when you were little.
Okay, so this is in memory of my dad.
Oh.
He used to call me Titi. Like, it's from Ondo State, so there's a way he pronounces it, Titi.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was.
You want to explain what that means?
Frankly, I didn't get the opportunity
like
to. Yes, because.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. Thank you.
Oh, so if you went through the school I went to, public school here in Lagos.
Okay.
I already know a nickname they would give you.
What's the nickname?
I'll tell you after the set. when we're done. Except you want me to say it here. They want me to say no. I would say drop. You know what? Drop 50, say it in the comment section. I'll say it. Now, the next question. What is your favorite childhood memory?
Okay. So, my favorite childhood memory was in church. I used to attend a church whereby we recite the memory verse.
Okay.
The school goes through a full year.
Why am I wanting to laugh? Sounds like a funny story to me.
Not really. So it goes through a full year, like 12 months, and for each Sunday there's a memory verse attached to it, just like Redeem and the likes.
Yeah.
And so on that day, for my class, I represented my class, and so I was to recite everything. So I chose to, actually. So I recited everything. When I got back home, you know, when I finished, everyone, they were so proud, like everyone was happy. And at that point, they started saying, where's the mother of this child? Come out, come out. I was gifted, like people sprayed money. When I returned home, my parents did something. My mom stood, my dad stood, and then they told me to kneel down. And they prayed on me that day. And so up till this moment, that's like the memory I cherish most
Are
in
we
my
sure
life.
that's not the grace that has been following you?
It
has to
looks like it.
Really your favorite childhood. Really touching story. I feel like I have a similar story, but it was on the opposite. Growing up as a child, I was the very forward kind of kid, you know.
Yeah.
So it's still in the religious setting.
Yeah.
So in the place I worship, then there was supposed to be an enactment, more like a small drama to teach a lesson.
Yeah.
And I was about say 8. So I was supposed to rehearse a statement. This is what I was supposed to say. I'll never forget. I was about 8 or 7 then. I was just supposed to say, this is exactly what I expected you to say. Thank you, Mom. Now, I was arguing with my sister in the setting. And my mom was supposed to come in and settle an argument where I am right.
Yes.
So at the end of the settlement, I'll tell my mom, this is exactly what I wanted to say. Thank you, Mom. So throughout the argument, while my mom was saying, I was not paying attention. So on the platform, I was just reciting that this is exactly what I wanted to say. In my mind, this is exactly what I wanted it to say. And when it got to my turn to say what I had to say, you know, I had forgotten because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So mom just hit me like, your turn. And I was like, excellent. You know, that was everything I said. And my mom took over like the okay, excellent. Yeah, you did very well. So that's excellent, my dear. And then we ended it until today. If I go back to where I was brought up, people who were in the same place of worship with me would call me excellent. That's my nickname until today. And I mean, that's the reason why I would never forget the story. It's quite memorable.
Yeah.
But I did well after, and my parents also prayed for me. In the next time, so that was it. Yeah. So her favorite childhood memory is probably what is fueling her motivation up until today. Now, finally, Adila, if there's a place you never want to leave, where is it?
Okay. I'll never want to live my old life. My past. That's where I don't want to live.
You'd never want to leave your old life.
My past, yeah.
You know, some people want to forget their past. You're trying to say you don't want to forget your past.
I mean, I would never want to go back there.
to it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So she would never want to go back to it. That's great. So from what you have been the past 3 years, you'd never want to return to anything beyond that space.
Yes.
Beautiful. She is growth inclined. That's why she never wants to leave her past life. Beautiful. This is, to me, one of the most exciting episodes I've had on the Business Leader of the Week. It was quite interactive, educating, encouraging, motivating for a 23-year-old doing business in the city of Lagos. Not just business, the business of selling food to the public. I know what the customer care in that session can look like. Well done, Adiola.
Thank you very much.
This is the Business Leader of the Week. This is where we inspire people to get the best out of their lives, become the entrepreneurs they wish they could, and no longer say the statement, if wishes were horses. Never. Why not ride on those horses already? My name is Emeka Ize, and it was an interesting session with the CEO, Creative Director at Corporate Ewa. Until we meet again next week, keep watching DABA TV. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. And interestingly, when we meet next week, it's another topic, another different entrepreneur, another story. Yet me here on DABA TV. See you next week. Bye.